All right, all praises to the Most High in Christ. Let's see. Praises to the Most High in Christ. We thank and praise the Most High for another day. We just want to come with you. We got some treats for you today, some videos of people engaging in trying to explain their identity. Black people, these videos and this message mainly should be, I am mainly doing this as a debunk and a message and a teaching opportunity to black people and Israelite camps who say this is not our land, this is the Edomites' land. All right? So, yeah, this is for you guys. These videos and these TikTok witnesses, TikTok proof that what I'm saying, I'm not just making it up. These things are really happening. The confusion is really being sold in our communities by the Israelite camps and the black people concerning our identity today on earth in the lands that we are in, that are claiming other people to be us. They stole our identity. We're getting this back. We're getting it back. We're reestablishing the Most High's laws on the earth, right? So yeah, that's what's happening. That's what's happening. I kind of threw it off a little bit, but that's all right. Yeah, that's all right. Let's just do it like that. And so we're gonna get back in here and start the program off. Start the videos off. Let's see. All right. So we start off with these ships. With the ships. Will this represent the traveling of the 10 tribes coming to the Americas? We're not saying these are the original ships, boats, or whatever. We know they were similar to what they traveled in. And we know here they're in, they traveled in a convoy, right? We know they traveled in a convoy based on 2nd Ezra 13. We know they traveled in a convoy. And so therefore that leads us to assume, we're assuming now, and the Bible said they came to Azareth. Now, we know Brazil is not Azareth, right? We know Hades is not Azareth. We know the West India is not Azareth. They came to Azareth, which is Northern America. Now, I don't know how you confuse that. These 10 tribes came to Azareth. King James had it translated into English. This is what the apostles, this is what, let me see, the apostles. Yeah, this is what the apostles were teaching. This is what Jesus taught, right? This is what David saw. Everybody, all the Jews knew where the 10 tribes had left and went to. And then, because why? Because Azareth, North America, was attached in one continent at one time. They were all one land. And then science can explain how the place began to separate, and the continents began to drift apart. Scientists can explain that. They knew this was Abraham's land at first. Nobody had dwelled this far west. when it was capped, when it was attached. And another thing, common sense will tell you if the ark landed in Turkey. The ark landed in Turkey. That's proof. That's been proven. The animals got off board. And so, yeah, we're explaining the beginning of our stay of our voyage and our inhabiting of a land that had never been inhabited. If you believe the Bible, and then I have some other convincing evidence to present to you, such as, like I was saying, if the ark landed in Turkey, think about it. Let's get our critical thinkers on this, because we got to know how to debunk the theory that they brought us over here, and red Indians were already here when we got here. We are indigenous, but the red Indians was here first, and they brought us from Africa, because I'm going to show you an African, a Hamite, who's trying to debunk everything that the Bible and history is saying, because he don't want to be on the bottom of the totem pole. If the Hamites, if we rise up to our God-given position, then the Hamites automatically fall to the bottom of the totem pole. And so the Edomites say, hey, you got something to lose too, my brother. You better get over there and start teaching. We're going to pay you to teach these Negroes that they came from Africa and that they are not the indigenous people, because if we debunk who the indigenous people are, then we automatically become owners of this land. Indigenous. Right? So they're trying to get ahead of us and debunk that the indigenous Native American Indian theory themselves. That's why you see what's happening today. And you see the Native Indians trying to fight back, and they have the Hamites helping them, trying to establish that they were in this land first, which they were not. This land had never been inhabited. And to show you again, using the theory of the ark landed in Turkey. I'm trying to show you that this continent was one place, one solid mass. I'm not, it was connected, put it like that. Because the ark landed in Turkey, the animals got off the ark and spread it all over, because they're in Africa, they're in Australia, they're in America now. And they spread it all over the one landmass. And then, after that period, the place began to separate and the continents began to drift. Because you can't explain how those buffalo got here in America. Or those little snakes. Because all the snakes were dead, right? Because the earth was flooded. All the creatures that breathe air died, unless they were taken onto that ark. You can't even explain how the snakes, the squirrels got here. The birds. Those little birds, those little hummingbirds didn't fly across that ocean. They didn't store away on trees and get drifted over here across the ocean. Continental drift, right? That's real. Okay, so all of that happened. All of that happened now. So next we're showing you right here with these ships how the Bible tells us how they got here. So you saying these are the red Indians on these ships at 2nd Ezra 13? Those 10 tribes went to a land that had never been inhabited before? That means when it was connected to the continent of Africa, which scientists and researchers and everybody can tell you it fits right together. If you push them back together, even on looking at the map, you can tell that all these lands fit together where they seem to be broken apart at and drifted away. You can push them back in a straight line back to where, and they'll fit right in. Okay, so these people came over here, these convoys, the 10 tribes, to Azareth. Do they call Brazil Azareth? Why do they call all of this land, North America, Central America, and South America? Why do they say they're all together? They're all the same. Americans, the Americas. And then you say, okay, all of these lands are the Americas, but we all have different presidents. Why isn't it just one president and one ruler for all the lands? Because America is not a geographical location. It's an imaginary territory that they claim. And they jump back and forth. They jump back and forth. That 1 minute they are in the context. They're using it in the context as a geographical location. And other times they're using it as a territorial, imaginary, on paper territory, right? Jurisdiction. But I'm going to show you in their dictionary. I showed you this before. But for the purpose of these clips, these TikTok and YouTube clips, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you other proof that the first people here, well, like this shirt I got on, I don't know if you can see it, copper tone, copper colored people. We are the original Americans in North America, and the same ones that's in Central and South America and the islands and the Caribbeans. We are the same people. They were moved off of this Azareth, where they all went to, down by the French, the Portuguese, the Dutch, the Spanish. They were all moved off these lands to go down there and pick cotton, tobacco, sugar, tea. They were all moved down there to start empires for the Edomites, right? They were all moved down there to start empires for the Edomites. So we're going to go ahead and get into this. Let's see. Do I want to share? Yeah, I think I do. Okay. Do I want? Yeah, let's go. Let's do the share thing. Okay. Let's do that. And so we are still in right. So we're still, and let's see, where do I want to start this at? So, okay, what we're doing here is showing you this dictionary, Noah Webster 1828, the dictionary, their dictionary, Europeans Dictionary, one of the earlier dictionaries, 1800, so after we went through all this stuff, colonizing, the reconstruction of the free men, which were Indians. They were free. That's why they called them free men. They were never in captivity. They stayed on reservations. They were forced on reservations as the European took eminent domain over all the land. So these black people was forced onto reservations where they were actually already living, and some of them was guided to reservations. The last people guided to reservations were the 5 civilized tribes, which were led by $5 white Indians. Although I'm going to show you how they classified us after they got in where they were led on the Trail of Tears. They led them out there, and then they declassified us on the way. And once they got out there, once the United States started establishing them as the indigenous people of America. So they changed who the indigenous people of America was with the they changed that birthright citizens and all that. They started that with these indigenous people they set up to be the Native Americans people. I'm going to show you that, because by this thing right here should make you think what they wrote down in this dictionary. Okay? Let's see. Shit. Let's stop. Something's gone wrong. Okay. All right. So before we get started, we want to clarify some things people might not know. I think we need to start here, and I'm probably should run over this in every video. So this is the American Dictionary, 1828. That's an old dictionary. Nor Webster. That's the dictionary I was telling you about. So we're going to look at the definition of an American, right? Because the governments, the people who call themselves governments, they are really terrorists, and they are perpetrators of a fraud. They're committing fraud on the people here. You know, and they are in the business to cut us off from being a nation. That's the business of the Edomites who run the world now, Esau's descendants. So he's in the business to use all the nations in confederate with him, in cooperation, and basically in harmony, in concert, to carry out the objective of cutting us off from being a nation. We need to know that first. So we're going to want everybody to know this pertaining to America, Americans pertaining to America. This is the definition of an American. This is where it first started. This is the first definition and the true definition. A native of America. It's a noun. A native of America. Originally applied to the Aboriginals or the copper tone people. You can say Aboriginals, which mean we were here in the land first, and they applied it to the people who was in the land first, which would be the copper tone people, not the pale-faced Native American peoples. You know what I mean? So you can say, hey, I got an ancestor, one of my great ancestors, they were, they. Okay. All right. So we see here, America pertain to Americans. Americans pertaining to America, a native of America. Originally applied by this dictionary, saying testimony of the people themselves that when they got here, they saw the black people, like Donald Trump said. They cut it out of the video that he was in the Senate, and he was asking for. And he was asking for, I don't know if any of y'all recognize or went back and looked at the video again, or even if you ever saw it the first time. He was asking for money to build a casino in, what's that, Nevada? Over in Nevada. And they said, no, Donald Trump, that's for the Native American people. And Donald Trump, you're not Native American. And Donald Trump said they are not Native Americans either. Those people that y'all giving that money to, that y'all sent out here, and you posing them as Native Americans, they're not Native Americans either. He said, the last I checked, the Native Americans look like Michael Jordan. So that's when I knew Donald Trump, if you make him mad, he'll expose everything. So keep watching, all right? So, okay, let's get back to this again. Let's see. We want to go back. Let's go back here. Let's stop the share. Let's go back here. And let's see. Let's go back to the share. Let's go to this video. Wait. Okay, so we're back here, and we're gonna go over some of the benefits. We're gonna go over some of the benefits that we receive when we come back to the nations are receiving these benefits, right? Wherever they are receiving these benefits, and they receive them faster when they come to America, because they are passing out benefits for people who declare that they are indigenous to wherever they're from. They're receiving the blessings. They come here and say, yeah, we're white. So they indigenous, birthright. They get the birthright citizenship, and then they can, like the indigenous peoples, they can receive all the blessings that these United Nations declare the rights of anybody who's indigenous to, who can attach themselves to the Americas, North America. Right, North America, and that's another way to prove, to say, hey, okay, no, they say that all the islands and Central, North, Central, and South America, they're all one. They all are the Americas, but you don't get any benefits. You don't get these benefits because they don't claim that the Europeans did anything wrong to the Brazilians or the Cubans, that the Northern American Europeans, the colonizers, didn't do anything wrong to those people down in Southern and South and Central America. Why? Because another reason they are not declaring that they came from North America and they were taken out of their land and pushed down here. But they are claiming that they were colonized, that they were by the French. They claim the French apologized for taking the indigenous people from North America down there. They apologized for slavery. All these other countries, the British, they apologized to the southern part of America for those people for taking them into slavery and taking them down on those islands and colonizing them and forcing them into slavery. Then I don't know if they gave reparations. Hades, they apologized to Hades. They apologized to they had Jamaica in captivity, still have them in captivity. They're in there, bought up all their land, falsely possessed their land now. So I'm just showing you that that they didn't migrate to those islands and stuff down there. They were taken down there. And for that, the United Nations declared the rights of the indigenous people. Everybody else has apologized. These people up here in North America still playing games. Why? Because we won't wake up and self-determine who we are. Come together as one people. So that's what these videos are about. So I'm going to still get in. I want you to still, this might go another 20 minutes, another 15 or 20 minutes, because I want you to see, and I'm going to give a commentary on these videos, TikTok videos, where we have a woman, she's explaining exactly why we won't come back and why we keep giving the red-faced people, the red indigenous people, our identity and our heritage. We keep giving it away. Israelite camps and black people are giving it to these people while they sit around in poverty when all these benefits are waiting on them. Okay, so we're going to prove that today. We already got started, right? So let's look. Okay, let's start here.
Black and Latino division is profitable if they divide two of the most influential communities and create hatred amongst us. Then they
Okay, I ain't gonna keep cutting in. I want you to hear these videos. I might cut in once or twice, or she said black and indigenous. Let's listen to it. It is profitable. Let's listen to that again.
Black and Latino division is profitable if
It is profitable. The division, black and Latino division, is profitable. Just like them separating us from our nation, from our united nation as Israelites and first people of this land, is profitable to all of the 83, the people who have joined in Confederacy to cut us off from being a nation. Then they went back and reestablished God's law. This is another reason they reestablished God's law, to say, hey, if you are indigenous, this is what we need to do for you. We sorry, our parents did this to you, our ancestors. So this is what you need. And then they replaced us with all the other birthright citizens, right? That was a good trick, wasn't it? Let's watch it. Let's keep watching.
Black and Latino division is profitable if they divide two of the most influential communities and create hatred amongst us. Then they profit. Some of our people from both communities are so brainwashed, our own people forget their roots. Forgetting your roots is a good thing, because for them, if you forget where you came from, then you forget how powerful you are. When I dive into my presentation, Real Masters of STEM, I explain.
When you forget who you are, then you forget what your inheritance are, okay?
Explain how the ancient Kemetic civilization has a lot of the STEM and technology that we use today, starting with the IFA and the binary code. Instead of dividing, we need to unite. We need to stop allowing people distract us from the truth, reduce the noise.
See, so they are paying the black people and the Israelite camps. They're paying them. They let them say what they want to say. They let them establish their subscribers. They pay them money, and they don't bother them, because why? They are keeping us divided away from these benefits that we have as indigenous people, and not churches like Nate. I think he classified himself as a church organization, not Christian but Muslim. That's a shame, man. General Yohana and GOCC, he's a church too. General Yohana, he's an organization. He's got a 501c3 too. That keeps us divided, man. I guess they thought I wasn't gonna never get on here and explain what they're doing wrong to the community, because they're getting paid. And all the Christians, that's why they won't teach who we are, because they're getting paid from a tax break. They don't have to report taxes. They don't want to have to report those drug dealers bringing money in and they washing money for those big drug dealers. CIA washing, operas they washing. You know what I'm going to say. I ain't even gonna say it. But people are washing them bad money through the churches. These big mega churches, they wash the most money. That's who they go to. Been doing it for years. So let's keep watching.
More and focus.
A message to the Latino community.
It's kind of funny that y'all Latinos are choosing to be combative with Black Americans because y'all getting shipped the fuck up out of here. And at first we were like, okay, we ride with you, but not physically. We're not riding with y'all physically. But showing up to a Juneteenth celebration is ultimate disrespect. Showing up to what we celebrate, y'all ain't fight. Y'all did not fight to be in this country. Now, we do know there is a history of the Mexicans allowing said slaves to come over.
Okay. Now that show you how ignorant they are to what I just showed you. Only the 10 tribes. Where in the hell did Mexicans come from? How did they let us come to our own land? They're talking about when the Seminole Indians ran, that's the runaways. They say they're somebody else. The Israelites say they're somebody else. But history proves written documents about who the Seminole Indians are. They ran away and joined Florida. They joined the 5 civilized tribes. I'm going to show you that. It's in here too. It's right here in this. In another woman, she's explaining. They joined the 5 civilized tribes. And when they sent them on the Trail of Tears, they had guns and weapons. They told them to go up near Oklahoma and all up through there, and we're going to let y'all have that land up there. Right? Why were they giving those 5 civilized tribes land? Because they knew this was our land, and they were parading them. They were stealing our identity, saying, okay, this is what we should do, give y'all a portion of your land that you can rule and govern yourselves away from us. We want to stop fighting with y'all because we can't win. And we don't want to kill all the slaves. We're going to create a system where you can work and build, and we'll pay you a little bit of nothing, and you build all our industries up and help us build the rest of the world up and help us be a world power through your workforce. We're going to steal your energy, have you punch in and use your energy, punch in on the time clock, and we're going to use your energy to manufacture and build the world. So they didn't want to kill us. They wanted to take control and jurisdiction over all the land. And to do that, they had to use these laws, indigenous people, the rights of indigenous people, to make us think that we were going to get justice. And why did they do that? Because they couldn't fool the people that was living. They had to wait till all the people died, white out all the Mexicans, parade these indigenous peoples as the original people of the land. They couldn't do that while the original people were still living. They had to re-educate us after our ancestors died. That's why. Let's keep watching.
And then you guys teamed up. But make no mistake, you all have aligned yourselves so fucking hard.
Okay, they teamed up because they know who their fathers are, right? Jesus gave us a parable. I always have to teach this, a parable in Matthew 13 and 25. While men slept, the enemies came and sowed terror among the wheat and went his way. Oh no, these Latinos and all the lands They was in slavery with us. And Native American, look how they doing them. They been in slavery with us. They gotta be Israelites. They just don't know it. Well, it is. If you read and understand what Jesus was telling you, is that they were going to be there with us. They did that intentionally. They left. They didn't go pick those babies out and say, "Hey, Martha, give me that baby. I'm gonna take my mixed mulatto baby with me and my white wife." No, hell no. They was making babies because they wanted to have sex with the women, and they used them babies. That's why they said, if you got one drop of black blood in you, you black. That's what y'all learning now. That y'all don't mean nothing to them, and y'all never did. They using y'all, and they always have. That was always been their intention was to unite all the people to help them take the earth from the chosen people of God.
With the Trump supporters that you think that you can, then you guys teamed up. But make no mistake, you all have aligned yourselves so fucking hard with the Trump supporters that you think that you can deflect on us. Check this out. I'm glad that I wasn't at the Juneteenth where y'all showed up, because I would have been snatching y'all motherfucking signs down. Yeah, snatching y'all shit down. Because guess what? Y'all got blessed with businesses that we couldn't get blessed with. Y'all go and hate on us to HR. Y'all on the contract side.
Now, see, what our young people like her don't know is that black people had businesses in their communities. Detroit, I went to Detroit, I think it was 76, 77. Well, it was probably in the 80s after I got out of the military. And lined up all down the streets, all down. You know how big Detroit is in the streets, in the black communities, near inner city, because the Europeans had to move out of the city. But Detroit was the first black community like Atlanta, and even bigger than Atlanta. So yeah, there was black businesses everywhere. Right here in our neighborhood, we had everything: food, mom and pop businesses, they called them. And when they wanted to expand to make themselves bigger, or to open up stores all over, the banks redlined them and wouldn't give them any money that they're giving the Europeans, the Mexicans, the Arabs, the Orientals. They give them money because they know that money's going to go back into white supremacy. But they give them money to open businesses in black neighborhoods. The businesses that we used to have, they giving them money to open up, build, keep it open, and with very little regulations. Our young people don't know that. She's too young to know that. They totally erased that out of history. We were right here in Indiana, Fountain Square. Look it up. Look up Fountain Square before white supremacy took it over. All black businesses. I'm talking about banks, auto mechanic shops. We had a lot of gas stations. We had service stations, gas stations, our own black gas station, liquor stores, Every business that they have in our community now used to be black owned. So she don't know that, and a lot of our people don't know that.
On the sites, deep reporting us. So now it's your motherfucking turn. Deal with it. Stop coming for us, because this smoke y'all do not want. I don't give a fuck how many of y'all get on here talking about, oh, this, that, and the third. We don't give a fuck at this point. You showing up to our celebrations.
See, they talking about celebrations and stuff like that, Esau's holiday, when they should be talking about coming back to the Most High God and keeping the contract with Him. You don't have no smoke for the United States by yourself in your blonde hair. What kind of damn smoke you got? I'm talking to all y'all, not her. She can't hear me. If she get on here, I ain't mad at her. I'm not mad at nobody, but I'm saying anybody that think like her don't have no smoke. You don't even know who you are, where you came from, whose you are. You think they brought you over here and you think they have jurisdiction over you. I feel your passion. We appreciate your passion, but just get on the right track with your thinking.
You have never taken the time to understand what the plight of the black person is. But guess what? Your lifestyle is funded by us. We fund everybody's motherfucking life. From the
That's true, right? She comes. They got it bits and pieces, man. That's true. Let's keep listening.
Asians to the Hispanics to the Middle Easterns. Y'all come in our hoods. Your lifestyle is funded by us. We fund everybody's motherfucking life. From the Asians to the Hispanics to the Middle Easterns. Y'all come in our hoods, y'all set up, y'all act funny, and then you think that you should have the entitlement not to get your ass kicked out of this country because...
Okay, so we have bits and pieces. Because we don't go and do our thorough research, we take the bones and eat the bones and the meat at the same time and try to spit out the pig again. So yeah, we get bits and pieces. So we have miseducated. We go with miseducation because we don't educate ourselves properly. So we just take all the little crumbs and try to fit them together, the puzzle pieces, and they don't join together. But you still say, hey, this is the puzzle, I'm finished. And all the pieces are forced together and they don't form a good picture, the right picture. So she got that part right. She took her time and thought, let the Holy Ghost, because the Holy Ghost, he works in people, in the wicked too. He talks to the wicked. He guides the wicked. You know that? He used the wicked. So she put that little piece together that they get their money from us.
Because you're not here on the right circumstance. Hey, we can't help. Y'all come in our hoods, y'all set up, y'all act funny, and then you think that you should have the entitlement not to get your ass kicked out of this country because you're not here on the right circumstance. Hey, we can't help that we was incorporated into the Constitution. We cannot help that they cannot seem to get...
She think it's a benefit to be incorporated into somebody else's forced into their citizenship when they should be helping you to reestablish what they stole from you, your identity, and the benefits that I'm going to read to you today. Let's see where we at. Okay, I'm just going to read a few of the benefits. Let's go through this. I'm not going to say anything else. Let's finish.
They're right when it comes to us. But make no mistakes. Y'all not the only ones getting deported. Y'all not the only one getting ISIS raids. But guess what? We kicking back. We drinking our water. We minding our business. Don't show up to our motherfucking events because it's going to be a problem. I'm so happy that I was not there because I would have been tearing y'all motherfucking signs.
Let's keep watching.
Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, Africans. I hope you're faring well where you are.
Okay, this man here, he is Hamite, the Hamite I was talking to you and telling you about. Let's see. Yeah, I think I got the wrong video here. Okay, we're gonna go back. Sorry about that, but that was some good stuff. But we're gonna listen to this, and we might go a little longer, but we're gonna watch these videos, and I'm gonna talk a little bit more, maybe a couple of more of the benefits from the articles and of the rights of indigenous people. Let's watch.
Let's talk about the Native American. In 2007, the Cherokee Nation disenrolled 2,800 freedmen black people from their tribe when federal funding was involved so they get more money. and it violated the treaty that they had with the freedmen black people. The court ruled in favor of the freedmen black people.
Freemen mean exactly what they say. What it says. There were men, over 250,000 families, black families, after Reconstruction that showed up. They had been free. They showed up and said, "We have 2 million acres of land that people are coming and squatting on and claiming, putting their claims down, saying that they claim our land." And the court said, "Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?" Land grab. That was the land grab, the time of the land grab. Right? And so they said, "We are the indigenous people of this land." They said, "No." This was after the Trail of Tears. They said, "No, those people have been killed, and the remaining of them is in Oklahoma and Colorado and Idaho and all up in through there. They are the original native indigenous people to this land." 250,000 families that were free. Families. Different tribes. 250,000 different tribes was attacked, and all of them didn't go in. Some of them just stayed, like the Choctaw, my people. They stayed over in Louisiana. They just stayed there and kept working their own farms, hauling pulpwood, making paper. A lot of people just stayed in their land and just accepted the fact that Esau had claimed their land. And they did whatever work they had been doing for Esau and had their own businesses. Right? Let's keep watching. That's what free men mean. The Free Men's Bureau. Abraham Lincoln, he started a bank, Free Men's Bank. The 40 acres and a mule, that was for the free men. And how do we know these men was free? Because a slave brought here from Africa. If you had been in chains and you had papers on you, you belonged to people, then you could not own land. So why would you even go up and claim it? Because you didn't own nothing. You didn't own the land here. You were brought here. About 12 million of y'all was brought here, maybe, if that many. I don't think it was that many. 20 men in a boat. Let's keep watching.
1979, the Creek Nation decided to disenroll the black freedmen from their tribe. The Seminole Nation tried to enforce different rules for the black ones. The Chicmacha tribe of Louisiana, between 1904 and 1919, they disenrolled African and Native descent.
You see the dates she's giving? The dates that she is giving. We were with those tribes. Black Indians was with those white people until they finished tweaking the theft of our identity. And they say, if we want to get rid of their identity and their ownership of any of this land, we have to totally establish our white nation. See, because before they were still kind of brown. Those Native American peoples had a lot of brown in them. But when they, just like the Mexicans, when they turned them all the way white, where they could barely be recognized, their Negroid heritage could barely be recognized, then they disannulled us. They disclaimed us, and they start claiming to be white.
People. To this day, the descendants of those people are not allowed to. Between 1904 and 1919, they disenrolled African and Native descent people. To this day, the descendants of those people are not allowed to enroll in the Creek Nation. The Mattapony tribe In Virginia, disenrolled their black, if they looked phenotypically black, members out, or if they married black. The Pamunkey tribe, they disenrolled people if they married black people. The Rappahannock tribe, they will not, they disenroll members who look African American. There's more. They did this because they get more money individually and their casino profits and all of that if they disenroll the black people. They also say they don't believe in blood quantum, yet a lot of these tribes make you prove that you have a lot of Native American ancestry. And that one woman who I went back and forth with is a great example of that. My great times through grandmother was Native American, and she told me, because I had no connection, didn't know what tribe, because I was adopted by my brother's dad, didn't know anything about it, that I wasn't allowed to be in tribe. I thought blood quantum didn't matter. I wasn't asking to be anyway. And on the trail of fucking tears, the Cherokee had their enslaved black people that they enslaved with them, which is crazy work to me. Crying.
Let me tell you something about that. Don't feel sorry for them, because the Seminole Indians, when they found out that the United States Union cavalry was making and who they said the 5 civilized tribes and the black that was traveling with them. We had the guns. We kept them off. We fought them down there in Florida to where they could not. That's why they say the Seminole Indians were never conquered. Well, they were conquered people who ran away and went down in Florida to help those 5 civilized tribes where they were established at, to help them defend against the Union. So Gad was not overthrown. Gad was not overthrown. Right? Gad was not overthrown. Everybody was overthrown, if you put it like that. But what that is doing is identifying Gad. You're identifying Gad to be in the Americas. They were in the Americas, and putting a timeline on it. They were in the Americas when the troops overthrew America. But as far as Gad being overthrown, meaning they were done away with, the Bible said all the people that was established, all the Israelites are here on the land until Christ comes. There's going to be all the people that God created as nations are on the land when Christ come back. So when you say Gad was overthrown, all of the runaway slaves, and Gad was a certain tribe, Israelite tribe that was here. They probably was doing the most fighting, I'll tell you now, because David used Gad to overthrow the Philistines. When everybody else bowed down, was sitting up in there, Israel scared. Gad was used by David, King David, and he went down and they went down and helped him. I tell you what Gad did. David wanted some water out of a well they had been using. The Philistines had gathered around the well, a whole nation of people. David took 3 or 2 soldiers. They said, hey, we go down there and go walk right through them people, get the well, go to the well, draw water out and bring it to you and won't drop a drop. David said, okay, I believe y'all can do it. Did they do it? You damn right they did it. They walked through those Philistines, they whooped their butt, got the water, and could nobody stop them. They didn't drop no water. That's what the Bible said. Gad was the people fighting. Now you say they were overthrown. The Bible said they were overthrown. Well, I'm going to tell you how they were overthrown. Seminole Indians were the warriors. The people who knew the land that was probably Gad, mostly Gad. And when they found out you wasn't going to let them have their weapons, hello, Gad, they don't play that. They fighting people. They turned on the well in the Trail of Tears. They turned with their weapons and went over in Mexico. Why did Mexico stop them? because there were still black people over there. There was still, the Issachar was still over there. Issachar was there, the black Issachar. They wasn't in the interiors, hid down in the interiors of Mexico. The Mexicans had not whitened all the way out as one people as the Terror. The Terror did not have any power down there, over there. The Terror did not have power over the wheat in Mexico until God rose them up above us and pushed us down so we could go into submission and jurisdiction of this nation. We all had to go into submission to this nation to receive our punishment. But we wasn't taking it at first from these people. God had to prove to us that he had power over us and we were no longer the baddest things on earth no more. All right? So that's what happened to us. Let's keep watching.
While you have slaves. And on those pictures, they never show the black enslaved people. That was really heartbreaking to hear.
What the hell is going on with my timeline? Recently, I just started seeing a bunch of Aboriginal Americans talking about their indigenous ancestry on my For You page, which I'm happy with, by the way, because before the TikTok ban, it was not showing me that. But tonight, I'm seeing a bunch of Black Americans pop up on my For You page talking crap about Aboriginal Americans being indigenous to the Americas and just trying to like.
Okay, well, she was saying she used to see people saying they were Aboriginal, they were black. I think that's what she's saying. She's gonna define it better, but I thought she was saying she was glad to see people saying that looked like her, that they were Aboriginal. And then she kept watching, and black people got on her page. Was not on her page. When she got on TikTok, she found that they were saying that the white people, the $5 Indians, were the indigenous to this land, the Aboriginals. Let's see.
Downplay everything that they be talking about. And I think that's crazy considering how the people that you call yourself defending, the natives, don't give a fuck about you. The natives do not give a fuck about Black Americans. They don't give a fuck about Aboriginal Americans. They don't give a fuck about Black Americans. They don't give a fuck about Africans. They don't give a fuck. If you are not white or white adjacent, they don't give a fuck about you. Okay, and the thing is, most natives are mixed white people. They are heavily mixed with white. And y'all are on here defending these people. Why? I think the reality is that a lot of you crave proximity to whiteness and y'all don't want to call things out when you know some BS is happening right in front of your eyes, because it would jeopardize you being in proximity to whiteness. And a lot of natives know that they are mixed white people. That's why they get mad when you call them white Indian, because they know that they're white pretending to be Indian. And this is the issue. A lot of y'all Black Americans think that by dick riding the natives that you're going to be cool with them, and you're not. Like, look how they treat freedmen people. Look at how they treat Afro-Indigenous people. Just look at how they treat darker skinned Indigenous people. They literally whitewash the photos of darker skinned Aboriginal Americans. Okay? And y'all really think that they care about solidarity with Black Americans when they are profiting and benefiting off of Black Americans not accepting or identifying with their indigenous heritage? Black Americans are being played, and y'all are willing to be played with and think that you are doing the world a favor when you go against Aboriginal Americans, when we are the ones that are telling you how to research your ancestry and reclaim your identity. But a lot of you guys' rebuttal to that is, well, you think you indigenous, but wait till the cops pull you over.
General Yohana.
Like we're not already aware that we live in a colonized society run by envelopians, the envelope people. We very much know how the envelope people are and act.
Christians,
I mean,
General
hello.
Yohana.
We have been talking about ID alchemy for decades now. We are very aware of how the Mayo creatures think of us and think who we are.
Christians, General Yohana, ISUPK, all the Israelite camp are always talking about how powerful these nations are, how powerful how powerful Esau and his nations are, how much weaponry they have, and how we should just keep bowing down and wait on Christ. Well, newsflash, Christ's gonna make y'all ass fight, man. He's gonna force these people to force you to fight in order to get our revenge back from them and take our identity back.
Okay? But the thing is, what y'all fail to realize is that the envelopians do know who we are. They probably just won't say it out loud, or they just don't want to accept it. But that's not our problem. The issue is that many Black Americans want people to accept them, and they want people to accept them in a colonized ideology that was forced upon them. If you identify as Black American, you are accepting a social construct that was forced onto you and your ancestors. But you want to come to other people and tell them they are wrong for not submitting to a colonized ideology of themselves and their ancestors.
That's right. That's right.
That's insanity, boo boo.
That's right.
And that is not our problem.
Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon.
Okay, so you see, there's these young people. There's some people that are doing their research. I showed you. There's some people that are not. They're trying to fit pieces of the puzzle together that don't go together. They should be thrown off the stack. Now we're gonna look at this coon here. We're gonna listen to him talk. He's a coon. He's a house nigga, and you're gonna say, well, why would you say that about him? What's his payoff? We're gonna show you. Listen to a little bit of him, and then we're gonna tell you what his payoff is. And then we're gonna go to some of the benefits that we receive. We're just gonna keep hammering away at that.
Known Africans. It's Africa, beautiful landscape. Yes. So there's been a long debate about the foundational Black Americans and the indigenous Black America and the indigenous Americans. Some people argue that it is the Black people who are the indigenous of America, but not the Red Indians, as they were called by Christopher Columbus. I personally believe that the Red Indians were, or rather that is what we were taught, that they were the original inhabitants. However, we've had some research, we've had some news and documentaries showing us that the west coast of Africa was already interacting with the east coast of the Americas, both the North America and the South America. We've had evidence of transactions. We've had evidence of exchange of technology, exchange of agricultural techniques, yes, between the West African coast and the east coast of the North and Southern America. So a Black American man came forth.
Okay, so you say, okay, see how he jumped from Red Indians to the west coast of Africa, having he don't know what the hell do he know. This is a Hamite. He might even be an Israelite. But what the hell do he know? He said they were taught this. When? When they came to America to get their stuff from us, to get their goodies, to get their opportunities to help steal and help publish this propaganda. That's where he got his education from. Because I just showed you who the white people, the dictionary says that we, the copper tone people, not the red man, were the first aboriginal people. That's who Columbus met when they got here. And then they start giving birthright citizens to anybody that want to come in and help conquer the Indians, the northern kingdoms. If you want to come in from Africa and come in and say, hey, this propaganda here, we believe that the red man, where the hell a red man come from? Where in the Bible that the red man was made? Esau is the only red man, right? Esau is the only red man, descendants of Esau. Because they can't make melanin and they burn in the sun. Their blood show through their skin in the sun. And they can't make melanin. So this idiot, I want to tell you, watch him. He's a liar. Everybody get on his page and call him a liar. You don't have to stop looking at him. Keep looking at him. I ain't telling you to stop looking at him. Keep looking at him. He has some good and some bad, some meat and some bones. Spit out the bones. Eat the meat. We just seen some of, because what they got to do, they got to draw you in, so they'll put the truth out there first, and then they'll let him do his wicked commentary. But you say, well, why would he even want to do that? He helping us because Hamites, just like all the other nations, when we rise and take our identity back, thanks to the Holy Spirit and the earth helping us, rightly dividing the truth in us, when we take our identity back, we rise back above all the nations. And where did that leave Ham, the original cursed people? That puts him at the bottom of the totem pole under the tear, the mulatto people. You under them, bro. We understand what your payoff, what your motive is. You trying to hold your position above us. Look at you. I'm looking at you in your face. You trying to hold your position above us. You getting paid to do that. So, okay, we're going to look at just a couple more of these. Let's see. 1 hour and 7 minutes won't be long. We'll just look at a couple of these. Let's start back at page 9. We're going to look at a couple of these blessings, of these benefits that we are to receive, right? So let's just look at Article 5, the rights of indigenous people. These are the rights that the rest of the nations are stealing from us and stealing the benefits. The indigenous people have the right to maintain and strengthen their distinct, I think that's what it said, distinct political, legal, economic, social, cultural institutes. Strengthen them. That's why you look in all your different counties, they have their own police force, they have their own mayor, they have all of that. That's taking advantage of this right here, this article right here. All the European countries and the Chinese and the Africans, they have their own communities because they're taking advantage of this right here, this article right here, the whole rights, the whole list of rights. These are God-given rights, right? And they bring them over here and let them benefit by setting up their businesses and their systems and they're selling our product to us, our resources. They're selling everything to us, and they won't let us in their communities. They don't hire us in their businesses. They have DEI. They got that. They got Doge. They've got Trumps. They got MAGA. They got the Proud Boys. Okay? cultural life of the state. The state. Who are they saying the state is? The cultural right of the state. The cultural life of the state. The life of the state. We are the states. As a whole, we are the state. Individuals, we are the states. You get it now? You see what they're saying? You see what it really is? Black people, we are the states. As a whole, we are the state. Individually, we are states. Together, individually, they divided us. We cannot claim indigenous people. We can't claim that. But they can, because they come in and join under white. They join citizenship with the United States. United States. They are one voice. They vote in behalf of the United States. They follow the laws and jurisdiction under the United States. We should not. We cannot, because we cannot be a citizen. We can be their slaves. They judge us by whatever law, admiralty law. I'm going to show you when we get in the Peace and Friendship Treaty how there's two jurisdictions going on there. Jurisdiction of the land, because that's us. We have common law should be the law of the land. Then you have admiralty law. They judge you by the law that they had on those boats. You can walk the plank. They can make you walk the plank. Because the captain is the law. He is the head. He is the chief of that boat and that water. He can make you get off his boat anytime he want to. That's admiralty law. Let's look at Article 6. Every indigenous individual has the right to nationalize. You hear that? You have the right to go and say, this is my nation. Come over here. We're in our community over here. We are the indigenous Israelites, the 10 tribes, and we are nationalizing. We are claiming. You have to speak it out of your mouth in order to declare. Is that going to hurt? Is that going to hurt you from being one of their citizens and getting those benefits? No, because they're showing you we keep the same benefits. They give those benefits to everybody they want. Those are our benefits. So how is that going to hurt? You won't need a damn Social Security. Why? Because you won't have to pay rent. They got to help you establish a well. They have to help you establish solar panels and solar systems and set up all of that for you. If you are a nation, we go to them as a nation and they'll give us this stuff. They have to, because it's ours. We'll set up government where we won't even have to go to them individually. Our governors, our delegates will write the proposals, and we won't have to pay them taxes. We won't have to pay them taxes. Okay? You have the right to nationalize. Number 7, indigenous individuals have the right to life, physical and mental integrity. They have the rights to life. That is God's given rights to live on the earth. The rights to life. God's given rights. They not giving us these rights. They're saying we recognize this and we will help you establish your rights to life. Physical and mental integrity. Liberty, that's freedom, and security of persons, meaning you can, the Second Amendment, you can protect yourself, and you can have a police force. Article 7. Indigenous people have the collective right to live in freedom. Did you hear that? That means they can't dictate, their police can't dictate that you better follow the law. They cannot make a law, a UCC code, that inhibit you or criminalize you for keeping your God-given rights, your common law, God-given rights of indigenous people. Force you under their jurisdiction, take away your sovereignty. Live in freedom, peace, and security as distinct people, and shall not be subject to any act of genocide, you hear that? Or any other act of violence by the police. They descend to terrorists and not even citizens. They're violating their oath of office. They're subject for fine and jail time. And if they commit death, then they death penalty. Or if fast as you can, be deported out of here to save you, to get you back to your refuge city. You know, Israelites have that law. If you can get to your refuge before we get to you, the family get to you, then you're safe. But you got to get out of our land, okay? Peace, security, and distinct people shall not be subject to any act of genocide or any other act of violence, including forcibly removing children of the group to any other group. You see that? They can't come and take your kids out of your house like the welfare did. They can't come in your house and police your house. That's admiralty law they got you under, not common law. Let's go in one more. Article 8, indigenous people and people and individuals have the right not to be subject to forced assimilation, or destruction of their culture. They still in our culture. They forcing us to a jurisdiction to be subject and to I keep forgetting that word for some reason. They're forcing us to consent, that's assimilation, to their jurisdiction, to go to their courts and not common law courts, to go to their little district courts and be judged under their codes, which was only meant for government employees or people who nationalize or accept, say they are under the 14th Amendment. They are part of that country. They can't force us under their jurisdiction or destruction of our culture. Okay? Our laws, they can't say, you can't keep them Israelite laws here. You can't count yourself like God. You can't look at yourself like God looks at you, above all people on the face of the earth. Although he gave us that title, that's how he looks at us. He didn't tell us to come and force our jurisdiction on you guys. He said, don't meddle with them. Let them have their own gods, their own, as long as they don't come in your land messing with you. Clause 2. States shall provide effective mechanisms for prevention of and regress for. Okay. In Article 8, that's how they stop this first part from happening. Indigenous people and individuals have the right not to be subject to assimilation and destruction of their culture. States shall provide effective mechanisms for prevention of this redress for. This is going to explain right here. A. Any action which has the aim or effect of depriving them of their integrity as distinct people. When you tell the police, if they stop you, you say, hey, I'm not under your corporation, under your laws. Your laws don't apply to me because I have declared that I am not a citizen, a resident, and I don't work for you. I'm not employed by your government. I'm not under your 14th Amendment. I am sovereign to this land. Distinct people They said deprive you from saying that and say, I'm gonna beat you in your head if you don't do what I tell you to do. And I got this gun. I'm gonna even kill you, break your window, break your property. We're gonna see that we're gonna see about that in the Peace and Friendship Treaty, which is ratified in law. Are of their culture, values, and ethnic identity. If they say no, you're not. You got to follow these laws. They are doing all of these things. If they say no, you under our jurisdiction. Well, say who delegated your authority over me? Because I thought the government and people of the government, you swore an oath. You violating your oath of office. I'm just gonna tell you. I'm gonna do everything you tell me to do. But I want to warn you that this is going to be my defense in court, right here. This is my defense. The federal question: who gave you jurisdiction over sovereign people of the land? I'm telling you, I'm sovereign. You got to prove that I'm not who I say I am. And this is my argument in court. So to save us a lot of trouble, sir, you just need to let me go and stop, harassing me. He said, no. I said, okay, well, I'm telling you my fee schedule is starting at $100,000. I'll do everything you tell me to do. Get me to court fast as you can so I can start claiming this $100,000 for every count that you violate me on. Okay? So, B, any action which has the aim, and I'm not being your lawyer. You got to research this stuff out. I'm reading stuff to you. You got to go research it out. You might have to try it. You might want to try it. You might want to get some other opinions, which are all in my videos. Any action which has the aim or effect of disposing them of their land, territories, or resources. This is 2. States shall provide effective mechanisms to the prevention of and regress for. So after it happened, they got to pay, and then they supposed to have these states that we can sue them for not providing these protections and not providing their people to understand the law. The people they send out, police forces. Hey, man, we can bring a class action suit on all these states, man, where they're destroying us at, taking our resources, making us pay taxes, forcing us under their jurisdiction. Genocide. Did y'all see that? Where is that at? Okay. It's in there. You saw it was in there. Let's see. Let's go back to 7. We got genocide right here. Indigenous people have the collective right to live free, peace, and security as distinct people and shall not be subject to any act of genocide or any other act of violence. They broke that. All these police forces have broke all of that, man. And did they put protections in place that these police won't act again? These bad rogue police, who they say are rogue police is, and they are bad police. All police ain't bad, but did they put protections in place to remove those people? No, they reinstated them in another part of our land, right? Any actions, okay, we see that. Any form, number C, or letter C, any form of force population transfer which has the aim or effect of violating or undermining any of their rights, right? The laws, UCC codes, and the police stopping us and saying we are under their jurisdiction is violating this part here. Transferring us, redlining our districts, transferring us into poverty, virtual poverty, stealing our resources and our access to the resources that help us update our businesses. We shouldn't have to get a loan to better our businesses. We should already have our own communities established to where we as Israelites, as indigenous people, already have funds for that. But because they're taking the funds and giving them to birthright citizens and other nations, tens of billions of dollars, trillions of dollars they gave away of our money, of our revenue. They sold our land. They sold dirt to China. They sell our oil to foreigners. They make all the profits and put it back into their government and say we don't owe you nothing. We don't want nothing from you. We just want Christ to come back and put you back in your place, Esau, and all the rest of you nations. And that's what's happening to you now. Undermining any of their rights. Any form of forced population transfer. They've transferred us in the ghetto off our lands, right? Which has the aim or effect of violating, undermining any of their rights. That's what they're guilty of that. We can prove it. Any form of forced assimilation or integration. They forced us out of our communities and to integrate into their schools, right? DEI. Yeah. They forced us into their military, and then we didn't even get the benefits that we were supposed to get after we got out. They hold you up 10, 20, 30 years until you die to keep from giving you your benefits. They drafted us, and then we volunteered, and we signed contracts with them for all the benefits if we give our life for a certain amount of time. Okay, any form of propaganda designed to promote or incite racial. They got on the bridge over in Lincoln, Cincinnati. They got on the bridge and tried to incite racial and ethnic discrimination and violence directed against them, right? They're guilty of that. They should be sued for that. And their city, the city of Cincinnati, the state of Ohio should be sued for them people getting on that bridge, right? Those what you call them? Nazis, white supremacists. Let's read. Let's go. Let's see. Let's go ahead and read 9. Indigenous people and individuals have the right to belong to an indigenous community or nation in accordance with the traditional and customs of the community or nations concerned. In discrimination of any kind, no discrimination of any kind may arise from the exercise such a right. No, they shouldn't discriminate us from wanting our own communities. See, y'all was scared to try to get your community started to leave away from them people and start your own communities, because y'all was scared they was gonna come against you. And the athletes and the entertainers who are told that they should not support their own communities should sue those organizations that would discriminate and force them out of the organization for giving donations to their people, helping their communities. This is the article right here. This is your argument right here. No discrimination of any kind arise from the exercising of these rights. Indigenous people and individuals have the right to belong to an indigenous community or nation in accordance with the tradition and customs of the community or nations concerned. We need y'all help. Y'all have the right to help us, to start hospitals, to go back and put hospitals and stores in your community. And if they try to retaliate on you, you could take their business from them. NBA, NFL, the small hat community, if they raise up against you like they raise them, say y'all are anti this and anti that, we can sue them for the propaganda because it is hurting us and they're trying to criminalize us for keeping our rights. We can sue that community and those people that's saying that we are anti because we're putting our nation and claiming our nation. They have no proof of who they are. We have all the proof of who we are. Okay? So, yeah, we can sue them. So let them keep talking, man. God going, I'm just telling y'all how not to be afraid and what God is going to, what the real law of the land is. One more. Let's see what we got. Okay, we're going to read this whole page. The indigenous people shall not be forcibly removed from their lands or territory. They done that already. That's why the northern kingdom down in the Central and South America are saying they were brought here on slave ships from Africa, but they were moved from Azareth down to help those people, them folks, to help them folks build their empire, and they left them down there, and they left their bastard mulatto children in charge. They put them back in charge of the plantations down there. Those are plantations. Okay. Indigenous people shall not be forcibly removed from their lands or territories. See what I'm saying? The land and territory is the same. Territory is the imaginary line on the map of jurisdiction. Cities, states, counties, that's imaginary. The land is real. Their territories are imagined. Because they eminent domain, they claim all the territories. They can't claim the land because the land belongs to us. And the territory cannot exist without the land. So we are sovereign even in their territories. No relocation shall take place without the free. No relocations can take place without the free. We got to be free. We got to locate on our own free will. Prior and informed consent of the indigenous people. Concerned and after agreement on just and fair compensation. They took all of our communities and ran them highways through and put toxic chemical plants and toxic plants, and they ran those highways through our community and paid us crumbs for our houses. They should be sued for that. All those people that was all the cities that ran highways through our community. People that they took your houses, you can go back and sue them. It's no statute of limitation to fraud, right? So you can go sue them. There's no statute of limitation to fraud. I do know that. Free, prior, informed consent of the indigenous peoples concerned and after agreement on just and fair compensation and were possible with the opinions of return, with the option to return. So if you see, here's the thing right here. Okay, with the option to return. So those people that's coming across the line that they're sending back, coming across our borders, the brown people, they sending them back. Now, we got people in this land that for white supremacy, that support white supremacy, they're not sending them back. And they telling the people that their ancestors took down there on those islands from here, they don't have the right to just come back home. What this is saying, they have the option to come back. Because they didn't agree to go down there, to relocate down there. They want back in their homeland. All right, y'all didn't know that, did you? Number 11, and we're going to stop here. The indigenous people have the right to practice and revitalize their culture, traditions, and customs. This includes the right to maintain, protect, and develop the past, present, and future manifestations of their culture, such as archaeological, and historical sites, artifacts. We get our artifacts back that y'all got in the museums. I know y'all ain't gonna give them back. Designs, ceremonies, all the things we invented that y'all had got those patents on. We need that back. We need them back. And we need all the money that you made off that patent, off of the manufacturing of our technology, and visual and performing arts and literature. Everything y'all got paid and the revenue you made selling our inventions, we need that back. So we're going to stop here. We got a lot more to go through, guys. We got a lot more to go through. We're going to stop on 11. We're going to stop at 11. So we got a lot more to go through. It's 42 of these goodies, man. So y'all, I'm gonna keep going. Y'all see, I keep going. It's right here. I'm gonna go live on some of these. I had to get this one in because I acquired those videos popped up. So we kind of move now. We establish who the indigenous people are. We can move on to these articles and we can go live and talk about this, right? Okay, because group therapy is better than one person just lecturing. Okay, so we want everybody's advice, man. We can convince more people with group therapy. So look forward to the live broadcast on this. All praise to the Most High.